Hi everyone, we're here today at our Detour Ahead 2025, which is our University of East London Visual Arts Symposium. And I'm very, very lucky to be joined here by Sherwin from award-winning, now Emmy-nominated
yeah.
agency Mother. Sherwin, would you give just a little brief introduction to yourself and your journey so far?
Hi, my name is Sherwin. I'm creative at Mother. My journey has been a crazy one. I come from Singapore. I graduated from Central St. Martin's. Got kicked back to the country after I graduated because of the visa situation. But I've been working there for 2 years at TBWA and 72 and Sunny. Went freelancing for a couple of agencies, ended up back here in London at White and Kennedy, and then eventually ended up at Mother. So it's a whirlwind of a journey, but yeah, I'm really happy to be here and speaking to you guys.
Amazing, thank you. And yeah, now you're here at University of East London, having lots of conversations with our students. Mm-hmm. How do you feel that you can impact students when you come to things like this? What's your aim when you speak to these students and share your experiences?
I think first of all is being real with the students. I think there's a lot of people who can come in and like tell you the rainbows and butterflies of the industry, but I think it's being real with the students and inspiring them with realities of like, you know, not everything is the perfect brief. There is no perfect brief, right? And it's just basically like what you make out of it and how to have fun with it. Because a lot of the work that I show is basically everything just starts off from a stupid idea. It's like just sitting on the couch and be like, do you know what would be funny? Do you know what would be jokes? Let's do that. And I'm very grateful that, you know, until today I still can't believe people pay me to do that. Because like Conrad and I, my creative partner, we always just sit on the couch and be like, they're paying us so much to do this. I can't believe it. But it's been a real pleasure and been really fun journey so far.
It must be pretty surreal to be in that position. And I've really, really enjoyed the elements of fun and play and kind of experimentation that you were talking about in your talk. Obviously, that was an incredibly insightful, thoroughly entertaining presentation. If you had to pull out for this little interview one thing from your presentation that you'd want to really highlight to our audience, what would you think it would be?
I think it's pretty much embracing the weird journey. I think that is sort of, I guess, the topic of the talk for myself. And I think again, like going back to the point that some of the students already mentioned about like being in their outside of their comfort zone. Like, I think that is like something that we have as creatives as well have been taken into the industry and like applying it professionally and trying to make our clients uncomfortable in a sense, you know, like because you don't want to always just show up on a Zoom call or in a meeting and be like, I know everything that's going to be, it's going to be calm, it's going to be like comfortable. Like sometimes you want that a bit of like friction, a bit of like edge, be like, oh shit, I don't know what he's going to say next, sort of thing. And I think like in a good way, definitely not putting people in a negative light or anything like that. So I think that's something that I would like the students to, you know, keep being inspiring by being outside of your comfort zone, really.
Being comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Exactly, and experimenting. I think like being in school is the best time to experiment. Like, because once you come out, not a lot of places, Mother pays you to experiment in a sense, but like not a lot of places would do that.
Yeah, one last thing before you have to go. Obviously, we have students from across our visual arts cluster here, and you talked a lot about kind of the intersection between graphic design, fine art, and then transitioning into advertising. If you had a piece of advice for, say, someone studying photography or studying graphic design, bridging that gap between their course at university and then working in an agency, what would that advice be?
That's a great question. I think it's a very personal question for every student, and I think it depends on the path that you want to take. Like for me, when I was in uni, I already knew that, and I guess it's quite rare that people already know what they're going to do, and but I knew that I wanted to be a creative, and no matter what, I would be a creative because I'm not good at taking photos. I'm not good at really typography. I'm not good at filmmaking, but I can come up with concepts and scripts that I know people who are really good at their jobs can do the best out of it. So that's why I'm sort of like, I was collaborating a lot with people at my school. Same way as I do at the office. I'm like, oh, I know that design is really good. I know that motion design is really good. So I'll go work with them to fulfill my sort of like my vision. But I would say like, to bridge that path for students who are like really into photography, who wants to go into an industry of like the creative industry, like I think it's just really putting yourself out there. And I was saying to one of the kids earlier, I was like, if you're really big into if you're really big on Instagram or TikTok or any social media platform, to put yourself out there, or LinkedIn, the more you put yourself out there, the higher chances you are of being picked up. Because as creatives at an agency as well, we look at Instagram every day to look at who's the next big thing.
Yeah.
And I'm always like, oh shit, this director's really sick. He just shot this thing for Clint. And I'm like, I'm gonna get him to do my next ad. He just did this thing with Sloan. And all these like cool people who are part of the culture, who have impacted the culture in a very cool way, are on our radar. Yeah. So we are like, as creators, one of the jobs that we have to do as well is to be always on trend. And I'm sort of like, every morning I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to do this, but I have to go on Instagram. And it's really unhealthy, but I'm just like, I have to do it because it's part of my job and I enjoy it at the same time as well. So I would say put yourself out there, illustrator, whether you're an illustrator, you're a designer, you're a photographer, like just don't be afraid. Again, being uncomfortable of showing yourself and
I think that's a really great point to bring up actually, because it's something I hadn't considered when you sort of spoke about earlier about sort of giving yourself a brief, like the remotest worker that you did. No one's come and given you that. In fact, check that out, guys. Check out Sherwin's. Is it still up on your LinkedIn? Your
probably
worker?
Somewhere. You have to like scroll all the way down, probably.
But yeah, I think the idea of giving yourself a creative brief and not waiting for somebody to give it for you, putting yourself out there on those channels is something super, super important. So thank you so much for giving me your time. It's been amazing. I've genuinely really enjoyed listening to you speak today.
Thank you.
Thank you.